Hello, everybody. It's me, Ross, and welcome to the recap. And today I'm joined by good old Bloomers, who makes his return. I want to get his 5 takeaways from Town's 1-0 defeat against Cambridge United on the weekend at Portman Road in League One. And Bloomers, your first takeaway is a reality check and a disappointing afternoon at Portman Road, losing against Cambridge.
Yeah, always good to speak to you, Ross. And it's been a little while, so this is nice to get back into the swing of things. And it was a trip to Portman Road for me on Saturday for the first time in a couple of months. And unfortunately, it was probably not the one to go back to. As I say, the first of these 5 points is, for me, a bit of a reality check. That's not to say that there's been some fantastic progress that's been made by Kieran McKenna since he's joined the club. And look, next season could well be the season that we've finally been hoping for the 3 years that we've been in League One. But it's just a bit frustrating that for all of the positives that we can take from the last few months or whatever, we do have a bit of an Achilles heel, and that if a team does apply themselves correctly and execute a game plan, which Cambridge certainly had, then it looks like we struggle to break teams down, and we shouldn't really have beaten Gillingham when we did. We drew against Cheltenham at home, so we drew against Portsmouth at home, and now this one's finally come back to bite us on the backside. Cambridge were good value for the win. Some people might not agree with that, but I feel like it was a very good performance from them. They did everything they should have done. Obviously, we had a goal disallowed at the end, and looks like on replay it was a correct decision, although it didn't feel like it at the time. But yeah, it's frustrating, and it's probably torpedoed our season now. And these next 5 games probably just a bit more about pride and getting ourselves as high at the table as we can. I know some people never say never, but I feel like it's safe to say now that might just be the end of it. But look, the reality check might have been needed. You can't win every game in this division. If we were in the Vauxhall Motors Isthmian Division 1 North, we wouldn't win every game. Or South, we wouldn't win every game. Like, these things do happen, and it wasn't a complete shock on the basis of the 90 minutes. I feel like with good managers, they learn more from a defeat than they do from a win. I wouldn't be comfortable saying that for some of our previous managers, but I feel like McKenna will have learned a lot over that 90 minutes, and he said as much at the end of the game about how our levels weren't up to where he thinks they should be, and I completely agree with him. So yeah, I'm disheartened, but not completely without hope. It's annoying, but look, I would feel a lot worse if we were in a different situation with a different manager. I feel better knowing that we have McKenna behind us.
So, Bloomers, your second takeaway is Toothless Town. And, well, it has been proven the last few weeks our strikers are not scoring the goals. And once again, we didn't score because we didn't create those chances.
Yeah, this is it. We had maybe one, I think, half chance really in the second half when Norwood had that sort of snapshot volley that was saved by Meat off the Cambridge goalkeeper. From the top of my head, that's the first real save he made in that whole of the second half, and the only save he made. Wes Burns had a 25-yarder that flashed past the post. There just wasn't enough sustained pressure on the Cambridge goal. And it's funny this. I was with the person I went with is an Aston Villa fan, goes to quite a few Aston Villa games. Never been to Ipswich before in his life, but would say he did say he'd come back. So despite the bad result, what he was getting frustrated, or what he noted, is that there seemed to be clearly a way that this is his words, clearly a way that we've been set up, but no one seems to really take the onus to drive and make that killer final ball or do a shot, you know, from 15, 20 yards that's going to test the goalkeeper. It feels like the only time they're going to make a ball or a final ball or a shot is if it's an extremely high XG opportunity, whether that's players playing within their limitations that McKenna's asked them to, or it's a little bit of a lack of confidence in front of goal. I feel like it might be a little bit of both, but it's what's cost us in these home games that we've drawn and lost. And the ones that, you know, like at Morecambe as well, where Morecambe away, where we drew 1-1 despite dominating the game. It's clearly a good system against some of these League One sides who'll give you the possession. You know, we seem very comfortable on the ball. Even when we lose the ball, we're good in our transition, but it's just not adding up to loads of clear-cut opportunities and therefore a lack of goals. I have no doubt that McKenna's going to look at adding some strikers in the summer, probably ones that will fit this system of play. So maybe if that's a poacher who just constantly work around the edge of the penalty area, looking for little pockets of space, or just make those darts into the box to get on the end of it. If that's what we need, that's one thing. Or I know he likes Caden Jackson because of his pace. If we get a pacey striker who's going to run into those channels, look for balls over the top, maybe Jackson is the man when he's finally fully fit after a whole season. But at the moment, with him out injured especially, there just doesn't seem to be that real cutting edge. And James Norwood again worked hard, but didn't really do much. Not for me having to go at him. It's just kind of how I saw it. And Bond, when he came on, got booked and didn't do much else really. So yeah, it's definitely what's cost us over the last few months. Even though we've still, averaged 2 points a game and done fantastically. And I think most fans will want that forward line looking at, and that's where the additions need to be come the summer.
So your third takeaway, Bloomers, is WONDER-WALTON. What a man Christian Walton is. What a goalkeeper he is. That's one positive thing, is that we have been keeping clean sheet. Of course, we conceded a goal against Cambridge, but he made a few crucial saves, and he's just every game he plays. He's
technically we conceded 2, which is luckily that one of them was offside.
Yeah, thankfully, yeah.
But yeah, the said Villa fan who was next to me, I said to him at half time, I was like, "What are you thinking?" He's like, "Your goalkeeper's excellent, isn't he?" We were sitting in row C in the Sir Bobby Robson lower, and we were right behind the goal. So the first half we were probably within about 10 foot of Christian Walton. So it was really interesting seeing him up close. First of all, you actually don't realise how big he is until you're that close. And secondly, just how well he commands his area, how he's constantly telling defenders where to be, his reactions. I mean, that one save he made in the first half where he tipped it over the bar onto the roof of the net. That's top class for League One. That's top 5 or 10% of goalkeepers in League One making that save, and not many else. He's the best bit of business we did in January. I mean, almost the only bit of business we really did in terms of making permanent transfers. But I'm so confident if we keep him over the summer that he's going to form a real back spine to this team that's going to continue in the same vein that it has done. I mean, Cambridge, again, had a really good game plan, got their goal from a set piece. And that's something that maybe needs to be worked on a little bit, because we conceded a set piece goal to Oxford as well in the 96th minute. So that's maybe an area that teams are looking at in order to try and get at us. But no, he's been fantastic since he's been here. And, Prof. Vaclav Hagley, I butchered that name, but I haven't said his name in so many months. I haven't had practice in it. He's come in and now playing comfortable reserve, and that's going to be the way it is unless he goes out on loan or departs at the end of the season. I'm extremely happy with him. And look, like I say, if someone who hasn't watched Ipswich before, after 45 minutes, singles him out, then that kind of says all there is to, really.
The takeaway for Bloomers is time for TYREECE. Why is that?
Indeed, Tyree Simpson. Is it time to get him in? Because I don't know what the situation is behind the scenes. I don't know whether he's going to be part of our plans next season. But at the very least, just give fans a glimpse of what he can do. If you don't want him in for next season, I can kind of understand why you wouldn't play him necessarily. But I think we owe it to him to put him in the shop window then. If we've been screwing him around for a little bit, at least give him some cameos, even if you're not going to start him. With all this problems we've got up front and the fact that we do look a bit toothless, why not? Now that there's 6 games left and only maybe 1% of Town fans still think we can get in the playoffs, why not play him? Why not start to try and blood in some players on the fringes that wouldn't have got a look in otherwise? So Kieran Dyer was very vocal about this in his interview after he left the club. And again, I will give more benefit of the doubt to McKenna than any other recent manager, just because he's got everything so right so far. But you've got 6 games here where you've got the opportunity to kind of play around a little bit. The fans want to see what he'll do, and I'm sure that Tyree Simpson himself will want to see what he can do after performing very well in League 2. So this is a step up to League 1. and it'll be interesting to see whether he could handle it. But yeah, I mean, time for Tyrese. I think if you did a snap poll and asked the majority of the fan base, they'd probably want to see him at some point in the next 5 games. Let's see it. Is it time for Tyrese? I say yes.
And your final takeaway, Bloomers, is blue shirts, green shoots. A lot of positivity under McKenna, and I'm sure that will continue into next season. Even though the season is dead, I was right. But Bloomers, a lot of positivity indeed.
Just look away from the pitch. I mean, 26,500 for a Saturday 3:00 game in League One is just ridiculous. You know, there's only 3 clubs in the Football League. Sorry, 3 clubs in League One that can currently do that. Ask Sheffield Wednesday and Sunderland. And Sheffield Wednesday and Sunderland, you know, always have had historically large fan bases. Ours have drifted over the last few years, but look, we're back in force again. It's fantastic. Like, I was on the train, so I live in South London. I was on the train up to Liverpool Street Station on Saturday morning, just talking with an old a couple who were on my table, and they were from Manchester. I saw my Ipswich scarf and started chatting. And when I said to him that there was going to be 26 or 25,000 there on Saturday, he looked at me as if I had 3 heads. He couldn't believe what attendances we were getting. And it just goes to show the untapped potential that's at this club and what can happen now that we've got this financial springboard and a young, unproven still, but hugely inspirational manager that could have a massive upside. So Rome wasn't built in a day, and I know that Ipswich fans have had it worse than probably 70 other Football League clubs in the last 20 years. Maybe Oldham are the only ones who've had it worse than us. I know we're all frustrated. I know we've been waiting for a long time, but look, even if you are feeling still heartbroken today, just think that it's all. I know it's so to screw everything up, but it's there. Like, behind the scenes, in the dugout, it feels like it's more optimistic than it's been in so long. We've got 46 games next season to have a proper crack at this. There might be some good teams getting promoted, and whisper it, there might be a few bad teams getting relegated from the Championship. Certainly some that, if you replace them with the 3 teams that are going up from League One this season, it might make the league a little bit weaker next season. That's just on paper. And again, look at some of the League Two sides coming up. There are potential teams that would have never played in League One before if they go up, like the likes of Forest Green, the likes of Sutton United. So, you know, it's all there for us. All we just need to do is sort out some of our records against some of the top 4 teams in the division and some of the promoted teams. We actually didn't win a game against any of the promoted sides from League Two this season. We had 6 opportunities and didn't win one. Sort that out. Continue the domination against some of the mid-table teams. Get that forward in that's gonna go on a Darren Murphy-like rampage circa 2015, and it's all there. I'm sounding a bit like John Watson or Bono here, being like, keep the faith. I'm certainly not usually a big tub thumper, but look, take a step back, look at everything, enjoy the next 5 games, bring your beach balls, bring your inflatables, and then we'll crack on again next season.
Well said, my friend. And yeah, that is normally John Watson and good old Bono bringing the positivity. But I think we're all just excited for next season. It will be a roller coaster ride. Hopefully it's a good one. Hopefully don't fall off halfway through and the same old story in League One. But Bloomers, it's been a pleasure to have you on the recap. Let us know in the comments down below your thoughts, your takeaways, and look out for many more videos this week coming from Kings of Anglia. So we'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now.